Did you know that microlearning can range from a few seconds to over an hour in length? So one of the questions we often hear is, so how long should microlearning be? Here's a fun fact. The myth about goldfish having longer attention spans than humans is not based in fact. In reality, attention spans are situational. People tend to pay attention to the things that are important to them. Think about a kid playing a video game and trying to pry them off of that video game. They'll forget to eat. They'll forget to do their chores. They'll forget everything while they're focusing on that one thing that is the most important thing to them at that moment. So that kind of helps us to when we develop our multimedia, our micro learning, if we don't have to be worried about attention spans as much. Yes, people are distracted, and that's something totally different. So when we think about how long it should be, there are several experts out there that have given their suggestions. For example, ATD Research in a study they conducted in 2017 suggests that longer than 2 minutes, but shorter than 5 minutes. Carl Kapp and Robin Defelis. Carl Kapp was a contributor to our book. He actually wrote the foreword to it. Suggests that it should be as short as a few seconds to as long as an hour. Carla Torgerson and Sue Ioni, who are also contributors, said that with informal learning, it should last about 4 minutes or less. And J.D. Dillon, Chief Learning Architect at Axonify, says that it should last as short as possible to address a specific measurable objective, but fit within the audience's available time. And we kind of, if we look at all of these definitions, we kind of like J.D. Dillon's the most. We recommend that make your micro lessons as short as necessary, but as short as possible, but as long as necessary to address the specific measurable objective while taking into consideration the learner's limited available time. Torgerson and Ioni developed, they came up with 4 different uses of microlearning. And to determine the appropriate lengths, they basically categorize them into these 4 different categories. The first one they refer to as pre-work. This is microlearning that's assigned prior to a formal learning event. And they say that it can take up to 10 minutes. Then the second category is boosted learning, which is assigned as a follow-up of a recently completed learning event. And that can be short, about 1 minute in length. The short form learning is broken up into informal learning, which is what the learner wants to learn and know, and formal learning, which is what the learner needs to know. And for informal learning, they recommend a duration of about 4 minutes. For more formal learning, up to 8 minutes. And then their fourth category or use of microlearning is performance support, which is usually delivered on demand to support workplace skills. And these can range anywhere from 5 seconds to 5 minutes. Think about an infographic as an example of something that could take about 5 seconds to consume, where it has a lot of important information presented with charts and graphs and very small amount of text.
And as we think of the theoretical underpinnings, even the 8-minute length, consider looking deeply into chunking, because even within an 8-minute length micro-learning unit, it doesn't have to run completely consecutive. The content can be chunked depending on your learners. You know them best.